I think there's an interesting conversation that needs to be had regarding doing what you love or doing what you are good at. Of course, the conclusion that you might end up on is obviously I need to do what I love. Otherwise, I will probably not love myself. But that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. The fact is, you can have some sort of middle ground, right? Between love and what you're good at. And it comes a time in every man's and woman's life where they need to find this middle ground, right? So, how can we approach this in a practical sense? Well, obviously, you can write down a list on what you love to do. You can write down a list on what you're really good at. But I think that's kind of pointless because life kind of moves with or without you. You might end up in a career that you thought that you were really passionate about, but instead, well, here we are. Why did I lose my spark, so to speak? I think it's mainly due to our identity. We try to tie our identities to external things that are really empty. I'm gonna show you a good book. This book called Ocean of Nectar, written by Geshe Kelsang Gyatso, one of my spiritual teachers who founded the religion I follow, called Kadampa Buddhism. And he outlines that everything is empty. Every single thing that exists on this planet is, in its essence, empty. You cannot find your body. If I try to point at this and say this is my body, no, this is my arm. So something like my arm cannot be my body, right? That's emptiness. So I try to describe something with something that isn't, right? A pack of wolves cannot make a body. So I use things that are in its essence non-existent to try to describe something that is existent. Because, once again, I may point at my arm and say this is my body, but really, what am I pointing at? I'm not pointing at my arm. I'm pointing at the part of my arm. And my arm, what is that? It's fingers. Okay. And I'm pointing my finger, but it's just skin. You see where I'm getting at? It's identity. We try to identify ourselves in careers that, in its essence, well, what are they? Say perhaps you're an engineer. What does an engineer do? Engineer, mechanical engineer. You fix things, you build things, you invent things. These are three parts that make an engineer, or make the engineer career. And isn't it funny? Three things that doesn't really have to do with engineering becomes your engineering career. So what can we really do about this then? We can do what Led Zeppelin's lead singer did. I think it was the lead singer or the lead guitarist. He actually had a PhD or a master's degree in aerospace engineering. And still he became a musician. Yeah, he used this education as a foundation. So he found his middle ground in life. He loved doing tech stuff, he loved science, but he still loved music. He made a career out of his music. That's where his real money, so to speak, came from. Was from the music, not from his engineering degree or the engineering work that he made. Sorry if my throat is a little sore. I have some salt in here. That's the reason why my voice sounds a little raspy. But he found his middle ground. And so should you do. What is this middle ground? It's what I'm good at, and it's also what I love. It's also called the ikigai, but the ikigai is kind of complex, so I try to break down it in very simple terms. Because we want to give value When we love something, we're giving value, either to ourselves or to somebody else. Say perhaps you're a doctor, you love to help people. That's you giving value. So focus instead on what is the area of expertise that I have that could perhaps give the most amount of value. That's where we derive meaning from. We don't derive fulfilling meaning from chasing money. Yes, perhaps you love the game of money, but it's not the money in and of itself that drives you. Maybe you're a salesman, or, I don't know, stock trader. Yeah, you like the money, but it's just a dopamine boost, a temporary dopamine boost. But you don't live off on temporary dopamine boosts. You live off of the challenge. You live off the value that you can give. Because you're actually giving some sort of value. And of course, it can be argued that some sort of jobs, including, I don't know, selling services that doesn't really benefit humankind, are trash jobs, so to speak. But I think you can find value in anything. Just say you're a stock trader. You don't do that necessarily to give somebody else meaning, but you do that to play the game. And that's the value that you give. You're giving some sort of value to yourself, at least. Fulfilling value. Money cannot be a metric of fulfilling, meaningful, valuable results. It just can't. How many people out there said that a lot of money is where I derive my happiness from? Money isn't the sponsor of their happiness. It's what they're doing with the money. It's the girls, the cars, the luxury items. It's the fancy vacations. It's the businesses they can invest in. That's where they derive the meaning from. Money is just a tool. It's like, say I have this tiny screwdriver. I use it to build houses with, or fences. Say I want to build a house and I use this little screwdriver. I'm not happy because of the screwdriver. That would be weird. I work every day as a architect or as a carpenter, say perhaps. And I do it because of this. No, you do it because of the meaningful, the valuable, the fulfilling work that you do. Not because of the screwdriver. The screwdriver is the same as money. And money is just a tool. Learn to use the tool to build awesome things. People who work overtime, people who own their companies, they love the money. But they love the company as well as a child, because it gives them sort of value. And when we lose track of valuable, fulfilling, and also purpose-driven vision, we can lose track of ourselves and unfortunately become extremely depressed. That's why people who are high performers may become depressed and underperform. They lost track of themselves, lost track of their vision, because they were so focused on their identity. I love to do this, I'm good at this. No, where can I derive most value from? Where can I either derive value for me and others? Where can I derive fulfilling work? Where can I derive purposeful, driven work from? And the funny thing is, you might end up on a career path or some sort of job that you would never have even imagined yourself being in this particular situation or in this particular job or career. If you have never thought of this idea of a visionary, purpose-driven, fulfilled person who derives meaning from giving others value, say for example. But since you're so lost in your own identity, you're miserable, even though you have a six-figure salary. I can do this for free. I love doing YouTube videos. I can do it for free. I upload every single day. Sure, I have missed one day because of, life. Come home late. Didn't have any time in the morning. Came home late. That's the thing. But I do this for free because I give myself value and I give others value. I listen to my own videos as if they were podcasts because I try to learn for myself. That's my value that I can give to myself and for others. And also it feels fulfilling to share my ideas with others. I guess in the end, what we can conclude is, where is the middle ground between what you're good at and what you love? That is where you will find your valuable, purposeful, and fulfilling life. It's in the middle. It's always in the middle. So look for the middle. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification as well. And as always, stay great, stay great.